Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crocheting Coffee here, and today we are back with another premiere. Now, if you're new to this and you don't know exactly what's going on because you see me chatting over there, but I'm talking to you right here, a premiere is a pre-recorded video that I pre-record so that you can watch it with me and then comment and I can respond to you in the chat instead of here live. Now, the reason we're doing this, if you're new to the channel or you didn't know, a week ago today, I had surgery. I had a hysterectomy and everything went well. So I am still in recovery because it's only been a week and I can't sit at my drafting table just yet. And I'll explain to you exactly why I can't sit at my drafting table. So with that said, I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you have a great weekend. In this video, you will hear the animals running around because they're all just kind of all over the place. I am home alone, but I am here with animals. You will also see me vaping. No, I don't want your opinion on it. I have my own, but thank you for having an opinion on it anyway. If at any time you see or hear anything that offends you, chaps your ass in any way, this is a part where you can go ahead and split ways, turn off the video, scroll, and keep going, because here we say it loud and we say it proud. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Can I get an amen? Thank you. Now, with all that said, I usually have a disclaimer every Friday night and you get to hear the didgeridoo and the kids are running around. But because I pre-record during the week while the kids are in school and Mr. Coffee's at work, sometimes I can't get all the sounds and funness in there. But I try to keep it fun. So today we are going to talk about the kids got vaccinated, and we're also going to talk about a lesson I learned this week. Yay! So let's talk about the kids getting vaccinated. Now, first, where I live, there's only one place to go to get your child vaccinated. And that's for children 5 to something. I don't know. I think it's like 5 to 11 or something. But there's only one place in the entire town to get it done, which is downtown, which I rarely go downtown. I think I've been downtown like 5 times in 3 or 4 years since we've lived in North Dakota. So I don't necessarily go down there. So when I went and got my booster shot for the vaccine, now I got the J&J vaccine and then got the Moderna booster because after talking to my doctor and my dad and other healthcare professionals, I found that the Moderna booster worked better with the J&J vaccine. So I went ahead and got the Moderna vaccine, just like my husband. And so the kids had to get the Pfizer because that's all that's available for children, which I don't give a crap what it is. If it keeps my kids from getting sick, look, listen. Hit them with it. Hit them with it, okay? I am one of these parents. I will die for my kids. I will kill for my kids. I will do anything to protect my children, okay? And if that means you have to get a shot, look, listen, get your shot, boo-boo, okay? Now, there are other people in this world that will tell you that, they weren't getting their children vaccinated for whatever reason. It's your world. Do your thing, boo-boo, them your turn. You do what you want to do, and don't let nobody make you feel bad for doing it. But these mine, and mine gonna get that jab, okay? Now, unfortunately, I don't have control over that third one I got because she a little hard-headed. She a little knucklehead. She with her daddy. And her daddy, let's just say he's not fond of the vaccine. So she ain't got hit yet. But don't worry. When she come up here, if she comes up here this summer for her 16th birthday, y'all, I'm about to have a 16-year-old, Jesus. If she comes up here for her 16th birthday, she will be getting vaccinated. All right. With that said, I'm sitting here, and I remember right before surgery, I kept calling this place because when I went to go get my booster, I was told that not all the places that carry the shots are going to have the children's shot. Only one place in this entire town is going to have the children's shot. Real quick, before somebody asks, close up of the nails. Yes, 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 yes. Your girl feeling good enough to put on nails again. Yeah. Anyways, so there's, The lady in town told me there's only one place in town that's going to be carrying the vaccine for children. So you will have to call up there and ask them. Well, if you remember, the first time I called, the lady got an attitude. We don't have it. Well, who's shitting your Wheaties, bitch? I'm sorry, that was bad. Who's shitting your Wheaties, heifer? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, excuse me, but why do you have to have an attitude about it? Now, where I live, and you might live in a place like this too. I live in Wonderland, okay? What's Wonderland? The virus doesn't exist here. Now take it. I've had it. As of today, there have been, my phone usually tells me like per day. As of the day, like my phone is telling me how many new cases there's been. There's been 500 new cases, 2 deaths, okay? Which is great. That's great numbers better than like the last couple of years. But I want to see that number at 0, okay? So I'm doing my part. I don't care what anybody else does. I'm doing my part. I got my jab, okay? And I'm going to do the part for my family, and half of them got their jab. Well, now all of us in this house got the jab, except for like the pets and stuff. They can't get jabs. They're dogs and ferrets. Anyways, so the lady cop's attitude. And you will find this with a lot of places that offer the vaccine. A lot of these people that run these places or that work there don't believe in the virus. They're anti-vaxxers and everything else. And that's fine. I don't care what your viewpoint on it is. I don't care. If you don't want to get it at this point, I don't care if you don't want to get it. If you can't get it because you're immune compromised, just know there's some people out here like me that care enough about you to get the jab, okay? Some people out here, I need to do my research. So you're going to tell me you doing more research than doctors and scientists? Shut up. Just admit that you're scared and move on with your life. Anyways, moving on. I am so tired of having this conversation with people and they're like, I think it came out too fast and I want to do my own research. What, are you a scientist? Chick, you work at Walmart. Shut up and go get your jab, okay? Think about those that can't get the jab, okay? Those people that are fearful of leaving their house because they can't get it, okay? Moving along. Sorry, I get on this soapbox and I'm telling y'all, look, listen. Girl. Whew. Your girl get hot over this topic, okay? And on my channel, you will hear about people getting vaccinated. You will hear my viewpoint of it and how I feel about it. And if it does not line up with yours, you are more than welcome to thumbs down the video. Thanks for the interaction and move your ass right along. Anywho. So I call the place back a couple of days later and I go, hey, do you guys happen to have the vaccine for children yet? No, we won't find out if we have it until next week. You won't find, what do you mean you won't find out that you have it until next week? What the hell does that mean? I was told that you guys have it. And she goes, we don't have it. And we won't find out when we're getting it until next week. All right, bet. Well, then, of course, Friday I went out for surgery. Saturday I was still in the hospital. I got home Saturday morning about 9 o'clock. Didn't think to call them because it's a weekend. So I was like, all right, bet. Monday came. Didn't think about it. Tuesday came. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I think my whip and check. Sorry if you saw me go down just now. It's because I put the recliner down. Let me see if I push you guys down a little bit. All right, there we go. So I put the recliner up. I'm sorry. My feet need to be up. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, bet. All right, I need to make a new cup. So I'm like, all right. So Tuesday comes and I go, okay, let me call this place again. And I try to be as nice as I possibly can, especially when I'm in person, because I don't want to start conflict with anybody. Now, you can catch these hands. They're rated E for everyone. Everyone can catch these hands. But I try to be as calm and cool and collected as I can because I know my temper is as short as I don't know what, okay? So I'm like, it's probably as short as my mama. So my mom's 5 foot tall, y'all. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, let me call them back. Call them Tuesday this week. And I go, excuse me. Do you guys happen to have the vaccine for children yet? And she goes, yes. My brain, I'm hearing that, la, 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 la. I'm like, oh my God. Now, I have been talking to the kids about getting this vaccine for the longest time. The kids watched me get my vaccine. They didn't get to watch me get my booster. They saw me get the vaccine. That was enough. And when I get vaccinated for anything, when I get blood drawn, needles, anything, I am a hot mess. There's tears, there's shaking, there's like chattering of teeth and I'm a hot mess. Why? I hate, y'all know it. Say it with me now. I hate needles. I hate needles. So the kids watched me get my vaccination, and I wanted them to watch me so that if they had any questions, they could, Mommy, let me ask you some questions about this. Because even though they're children, they still are inquisitive about what is going on in this world. Now, my children know about the virus. They know that they can get the virus. One of them has had the virus, okay? And now the more that I thought about it, it's funny because I was talking to Mr. Coffee, and I'm like, he was saying something about, well, you've been through enough this year. I think you're done. I think we just need to keep you on the couch. And I'm like, yeah, but, and I was thinking about it. I got COVID because of Maggie giving it to me. Then I got hit by that car because I was giving something to Maggie. Now, the gallbladder surgery and the hysterectomy aren't because of Maggie, even though Maggie was the last passenger out of that pathway. Those weren't because of Maggie. The gallbladder was an emergency thing. I didn't know it needed to be done. It just popped up one day. I decided to go to the doctor, and see, this is what happens. This is what happens, and why it makes me fearful of going to the doctor. I hadn't been to the doctor in, what, a year? I've been doing good. I had the stroke. I went to those visits. I was fine. And then COVID happened. And then they canceled all the appointments in person. And you had to do it virtually, which I was fine with because I'm not a big people person. If you didn't already know, Miss Coffee ain't the nicest person in the world. And I do apologize if I come off a little brash, a little brass, a little sassy, a little bit of a bitch. But sometimes, okay, sometimes the way people write stuff and do stuff is a hot damn mess. So I know I'm not the best person in person. I'm a lot nicer, obviously, than I am online. Because online, I can't read your tone. I just read it how I assume it is, and then I react accordingly. Just like I put up a picture of the kids and I sitting at the vaccination site with Mr. Coffee. And then somebody said Maggie looked petrified, and I showed her a close-up, and I'm like, she's not petrified. She's just reading a book. That was just a misunderstanding. Okay, I'm not sure how the side of her face looking down. Hold, please. Sorry about that. Daisy saw the next door neighbor's cat. Anyways, sorry, I was vaping. Where was I? Crap, she made me lose my train of thought. Anyways, so, oh, there you go. But that was a misunderstanding. Okay, I get it. I'm cool. There was another lady that was like, they don't look excited. Let me explain to you why they weren't excited. This is how this picture was set up, okay? And I'm gonna put the picture here now so you can see it. 11:33. I call the lady and she says yes. And I go, okay, what do I have to do? And she goes, you got to make an appointment. I'm like, oh, okay, you're taking it by appointment. And I'm not sure why, because most of this town is people that don't believe in the vaccine. Why do I need to get an appointment? I don't see there being a whole line of people lining up to get their kids vaccinated. Nay, I was wrong. There are more people like me in this town than there are that I thought, okay? So I was like, let's go ahead and make an appointment for them then. She goes, well, I have today between 2 and 5 open. Bang. 3:30. They get out of school at 3 o'clock. I'll go snatch their asses up at 3 and bring them to you. And she goes, okay. And I'm like, real quick, you know, she puts them down for their 3:30 appointment. I'm like, where are y'all located at? Because I don't know this town. Like, I've lived here for like 3 or 4 years. I don't know any place in here. This is when y'all are watching videos of mine and y'all like, oh my God, Miss Coffee is so hilarious. I'm sitting right here, okay? I'm sitting right here. Unless I'm not recovering from some type of surgery, I'm sitting back there. But usually, I'm sitting right here. I don't go out there. There's no reason for me to be out in these crafty streets, okay? Ain't nothing out there for me but the devil, okay? So I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right. So I do the stuff I need to do for the day. I walk the dogs. I take the ferrets out of the cage. For those folks that are like, oh my God, your ferrets are so cute. I think I want to own one. Look, listen. Let me explain to you about ferrets real quick. We're going to cut that story. We're going to go to ferrets real quick. Ferrets are not a force to be with, okay? If you've never owned a ferret, ferrets are a lot of work. When I first got them, I kind of regretted it for about 30 seconds because I was like, I didn't realize they were going to be this much work. Between the trying to figure out what food is best for them, then everybody most of the people in the ferret community telling you that you're a horrible pet parent because you don't know how to take care of an animal that you just purchased. Trying to figure out like play schedules and everything else because these animals aren't meant to be caged. The only time my ferrets are in that cage is when they eat and go to sleep. That's it. The rest of the time, those ferrets are out of the cage. Unless I leave the house, because I trust my dogs. I trust the ferrets. Do I trust them together by themselves? Hell no. No, I don't. I don't. Because Daisy won't stop licking the fat one, and then Killian won't stop chasing after the other one, and then she's chasing him through the house. And that thing I know, I come back and there's broken electronics all over the place. No, I don't trust them out together. They play, and there's nobody here to mediate that? No. Now, do I ever think that the dogs would harm the ferrets? No. Do I think that they would play with them to death? Yes. Not literally to death, but literally I would come back and there'd be a bunch of broken stuff because they're running back and forth through the house because Killian likes to play with Anais and Anais likes to chase Killian. Like he'll buck up at her. And she's like, you ain't bucking up at me. These paws are rated E for everyone. And you can get these paws. And then she will chase after him. You will literally see this 82-pound dog run for his life from a 2-pound ferret. I see it happen every day with my own 2 eyes. Daisy Gumball is the lover. He's the cuddler. So Daisy will take Gumball into her cage, and then she just licking the crap out of this poor ferret. He will fall asleep, and he's like soaking wet, smelling like hot dog breath in ferret cage, okay? And I'm like, I can't. These animals aren't meant to be caged, but I would not recommend leaving them out alone with your other bigger animals while you are away. So they get put in the cage. They're probably in the cage for, what, like 4 or 5 hours a day, minus when we go to bed. When we go to bed, they do go back into their cage because usually they're going to sleep at the same time, okay? And so I was like, all right, so I got the ferrets back in their cage. I got the dogs walked. I went to go leave, and one of my neighbors came over and was talking to me. And I was like, I gotta go. These kids gotta go get vaccinated, okay? One of my neighbors, I don't think she's for the vaccination, but I'm like, you know what? Do your thing. Again, I don't give a crap what your... I'm vaccinated. I don't give a crap what you do. I'm living my own life, minding my own goddamn business. So I go to Maggie's school, and I go early like I normally do, just because I like to mess up with that racist lady. I am queen of the hashtag petty, okay? Hashtag petty. I literally was picking my daughter up early from school, so instead of going to the school at the time I needed to pick her up, I went an hour early just so I can mess with the racist lady. I don't care. Fight me for it. Don't be hateful to people, and people won't be hateful to you. Lesson to learn today, okay? Don't be a racist bigot, and you won't get Petty Paige messing with you every day. I literally, every day, religiously show up at that school at 2 o'clock. My kid don't get out of that school till 3. I sit there for an hour staring her down. Don't hate me for no reason. Let me give you a reason to hate me. Don't hate me for no reason, okay? And don't let hearsay, like if you let hearsay dictate how you feel about me, that's your problem. That's a you problem. How you feel about me is a you problem. If you don't like me, that's a you problem. If you love me, I love you too. Just know Miss Coffee loves everyone until you give me a reason not to. Anyways. So I go to the school, and I'm sitting there, and I'm drawing, like I'm normally doing whenever I'm waiting for the kids to get out of school. Well, it came time to be 3 o'clock. Or, yeah, no. It was like 2:45. But I knew it would take Maggie a year and a day to get to the office from wherever the part of school she was in. It would take her forever to get to the office. So I was like, all right, bet. So I go into the school, got my mask on, got a hat on, because if you didn't know, that day it was super windy. And I put up a video on Instagram showing you guys all the tumbleweeds, because when it gets super windy here, the tumbleweeds are disrespectful, okay? They're everywhere, okay? They're like the herpes of the outdoors, okay? Killian just bucked up at me. Don't be bucking up at me. What? He thinks we're playing. Killian. You think this is a game? Oh, okay, he's gonna jump up here now. Never mind. He guest star Killian. Don't talk back to me. The whining is Daisy because she wants the ferrets. My feet so you can't see me. Hi, Daisy. No, ma'am. So, all right. So, I go to the school, and I have, like, my hat on, because that ain't the day to be wearing wigs and extensions, okay? I got my hat on. I've literally watched the wind snatch wigs and hair extensions. That was not one of those days. We had 30 to 45 mile per hour sustainable winds with 75 mile per hour wind gust, okay? And that's normal for North Dakota, okay? We're just the windy city. Like, that's, what is it, Chicago or somewhere that's the windy city? Nah. Come to North Dakota where there's no trees, because Wolfpack Diamond Paint, I still love you, Wolfpack. Wolfpack Diamond Paint done stole all the trees. Now, where I live, she does, I don't think she knows this area because we got a few trees. So we're not gonna tell her what area this is, even though it's only a block away from where I used to live. We're gonna keep the trees on this side. Anyways, so I get to the school, and the lady's like, oh, hey, Miss Tepper, now take it. I have a face mask on, a black hat, a black hoodie with my black jacket, and my black sweats with my black boots. And lady, she saw my face and went, oh, hey, Miss Tepper. Hey, I love Maggie's school. Love the people. That school, chef's kiss, best teachers I've ever had the pleasure of encountering. And I was like, hey, y'all. And the principal, oh my God, the principal loves my kids. I love the principal, and she has her dog at school this year. The dog's name is Daiquiri. And I'm like, oh my God, Daiquiri, look how big the baby is. Now, this is like one of those gigantic poodles, but it's like it's a weird type of poodle. I can't think of it. It's like a poodle mixed with something. But it's a big old poodle. The poodle is about a little bit bigger than Daisy, okay? So she did, like, I go over and I put the door, hey, Daiquiri. And I go, hey, can I go ahead and grab Maggie out of school? I just got an appointment to get her vaccinated, and I ain't trying to have her come bring me COVID again. And lady goes, she starts laughing. She goes, oh, yeah, let me go ahead and grab her. And she goes, Maggie. She looks to see what time frame it is for school where Maggie would be, which luckily she was in library. So she calls down to the library, and she's like, hey, can you go ahead and send Maggie because she's leaving early today? So, of course, 10 minutes later, here comes Maggie trotting through the hallway. Mommy! Hi, Magpie. You ready to go? And she goes, yeah. Where are we going? Now, Maggie is the smart one. Maggie questions everything. She doesn't care what it is. You could tell her, this is to save your life. But why? Why do I want to save my life, Mommy? Maggie, I need you to do this, or you're going to fall down into this well. Well, why is it bad to fall down into the well, Mommy? Maggie, sometimes it's annoying as hell. Other times, I'm glad that she does it, because she gets that from her father, questioning everything. Me? No, I just rather fight, and then fight some more, and then when everybody's passed out, ask a few questions. So, the entire time, and I don't want to tell her where she's going, because if I tell her, she will freak out. Now remember, I just had surgery. Keep that in mind. So I immediately message Mr. Coffee and I go, hey, I'm going to need you to meet me here so we can get the kids' COVID shots. I don't care what you're doing at work. This is more important. Drop what you're doing and meet me here in 20 minutes. He goes, all right, bet. Luckily, I am thankful that he works at a job that I can tell him to drop everything and meet me somewhere, and he can, and his boss isn't going to go, no, you can't do that. So, working in the oil field has its perks sometimes, especially when they don't work on the rigs and they work in the shop. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay. So I'm like, well, let's go get Orion, Tootsie. And she's like, oh, we're going to go pick up Orion? I'm like, yeah, Tootsie, are you excited? Now, anytime we can pick up the kids early, Maggie gets super excited to pick up her brother. But the moment they get together, we'll talk about it. So we drive over to Orion School. Now, I had been to Orion School earlier that morning because he had left his Chromebook here. And all the students here have Chromebooks. Essentially, they follow them to high school. And then when you graduate high school, if you complete, 2 or 3 years here, you get a new Chromebook when you graduate. So they have a Chromebook all throughout school, and then they graduate and they get a Chromebook. So he forgot his Chromebook, so I had to take it up to him earlier that morning. Now, I wasn't expecting to pick them up early, which is why I didn't tell the nurses, or the ladies at the desk, hey, I'm coming back later to pick them up early. So I called the school and I tell them, or I called the school and nobody answered. So I was like, oh crap. Because I was going to tell them to have him ready at the office. They didn't answer. I guess they were busy. So I get to the school and sure enough, they were busy. Their phones were blowing up. And I'm like, what the hell is going on over here? Apparently there was a couple of cases of COVID. There's like 10 of them. Damn. So I'm like, great. And of course, as soon as I walk into the school, I get the notification on my phone. Your child may have come in close contact with someone who's had COVID. Tell me what else is new. Literally, I'm not even joking, y'all. Out of the 5 days that they've been to school this week so far, 4 of those days, my children, both of them have come in contact with close contact with somebody with COVID. Now, they don't do contact tracing anymore. So they just tell you that your child was in the vicinity of someone who came up positive for COVID. Now, explain to me this, okay? Maggie was asymptomatic last time, meaning she had no symptoms. She had a headache. That's it. Maggie always has headaches. It's hereditary. I have chronic migraines. Maggie is going to have chronic migraines. Minna is going to have chronic migraines. Orion? Not so much. So, I'm like, all right. I'm here to pick up Orion early to go get his COVID vaccine. Lady's like, oh, that's nice. It sure is. Have to call my son to the office. So you ain't got to be getting no attitude. Just get my goddamn son down here now. Y'all, I get real country when I get mad about my kids. Like, don't mess with my kids, okay? So, all right, Orion. And when I first walked in, she goes, sir, ma'am. And she's like, excuse me? Ma'am? I pull my face mask down because remember, I have my face mask, my hat, my hoodie, my jacket. It's windy as outside, okay? And she's like, oh, sorry, Miss Tepper. I'm like, yeah, Miss Tepper, Miss Tepper. Whatever, however you pronounce MRS, that's me. I know I call myself Miss Coffee, and so does everybody else. That's just the way everybody says it. It's not MISS. It's not MS. It's MRS, so Mrs. I think. Moving right along. So I'm sitting there, and Orion, she calls Orion down to the office, and of course it takes him a year and a day to get down there. And I'm like, hey, dude. And he goes, can I go close my locker real quick? I don't think I closed it. And I was like, now take it. Orion has to go about a quarter of a mile down the hallway, then up 2 flights of stairs, and then down a ways to get to his locker. And I'm like, mother chicken, we're going to be late. I don't know how far that place is from Orion's school at this point. So I'm like, yeah, hurry up. I'm going to need you to hustle. Like, put some fire on it. Let's go. So he takes off down the hallway. Maggie goes, I want to go. No, you sit your little ass right there. No. Maggie has this obsession right now because everybody and everywhere you go has hand sanitizer out, of course. I don't think her arms and hands have been ever so clean as they are whenever we go out in public. She will use about half a container of hand sanitizer for no reason. She walked into the office, used the hand sanitizer. Once she got that rubbed in, she went to the desk, 2 squirts of hand sanitizer. Once we got outside and there was a big bottle outside, 2 squirts of more hand sanitizer. She's rubbing it up her arms and stuff as if it's lotion or some crap. And I'm like, that's not lotion, that's hand sanitizer, boo-boo. And she goes, but mommy, if it kills 99% of germs, if I use it this many times, it kills over 99% of germs. Honey, I don't think that's how that works. And she goes, well, why not? If everybody just used 2 things of hand sanitizer, it would kill all the germs plus some. My kids are smart, but in a weird way, like, I can't explain it. Anyway, we're just going to move right along. So I'm sitting there, all right? Orion finally comes back from his trip down yonder, okay? And he's like, all right, I'm ready to go. He's holding his hand funny. And I'm like, is your hand okay, dude? And he's like, yeah, it feels funny. I'm like, why does your hand feel funny? He goes, I don't know. You got the COVID, dude? I had put on some of my Scentsy spray that I got from Ruby Q, who sells, obviously, Scentsy, which, she's running a couple of parties right now. I believe Jeremy Fryer is running a party with her. Y'all should, the holidays are coming, and I know a lot of people like Scentsy, and they have more than just tarts and warmers, okay? Like, they got body spray, they got face scrub. So if you got somebody in your life that's got dry skin on their face and stuff, I get horrible dry skin. That face scrub is to die for. Just saying. Miss Coffee's recommendation from Scentsy. They got body spray, or they call it body mist. Body mist. It's really good. It lasts, like, literally all day. So, like, get the loved one you want to give something to for Christmas, but you don't want to spend an arm and a leg on it. Go check out Ruby Q over at Scentsy. Just saying. Anyways, enough of that plug. So, I had to help my girl out. What we want me to do. So, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, let's go. We get outside. As soon as we open the door, Maggie goes to open the door. And remember the wind. A gust of wind comes right as Maggie goes to try to push the door open. Well, as she pushed, the wind caught it and went, nope. Open the door as wide open as I see my daughter holding onto the door. Her feet just go whoop. So, of course, I have on a special bracelet that we've made out of paracord, okay? This is our tether. We call it the umbilical cord. Why? Because it attaches Maggie to you. All it is a braided paracord rope, okay? It's about this long. I would show it to you, but it's in the car. It's about this long. We keep it in the car. You put it on your wrist and you pull it, and it pulls it tight enough that, if Maggie tries to run off, it's kind of like a leash, but not one of those backpack leashes. No, I don't do that. I do the tether. I do the umbilical cord. I have one on my arm, and there's one on Maggie's arm. Because where we live, the wind tries to steal my child, okay? The winds try... Are you not hearing me? The winds try to steal my kid. So when she opened that door, she was still tethered to me. So she opened it, and my arm just went, whoop. Punched Orion in the head. So sorry, dude. Apologize still. Orion, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, okay? So I grab, the way it pulls from here so that when the rope comes up, I can just grab it and yank her and bring her back. Because I have to fly my children like kites sometimes. This isn't a problem that everybody has. This is a problem that I have when you have a child that weighs like 50 pounds at 9 years old. And apparently the wind of North Dakota is like, nah, you don't need this one. Let me go ahead and grab this one. Meanwhile, it ain't taking Orion's old thick tail. He thick with 3 C's, but he fine. He planted firmly on the ground. Yes, Lord. So I'm just like, all right. So I grab Maggie and I hold the door open for the kids and they go out and I go out and a tumbleweed comes. The tumbleweed tried to take my kid. Nope, not today, Satan. So I pulled Maggie back, and the tumbleweed just hit her right as it took her off her feet, and the wind just went, whew, picked her up, and I'm like, no. So I bring her back, and I hold on to her, and I'm like, all right, let's go. And we're running. Now, I can't pick her up because I just had surgery. I can't pick up anything over 10 pounds. So I'm rushing, and I'm shuffling with her in my, like, I'm holding her, but I'm not picking her up in my arms, and I'm shuffling back and forth, and we're running. We're running to the car. The car is across the street. So I'm like, crap, stop, Orion. I'm like, look both ways. We look both ways and I go, run. They start running. I'm shuffling. I can't run because like, look, listen, I have this heavy feeling at the bottom of my stomach. I don't know what it is, but it seems real heavy. Like something's trying to like fall out of the bottom of me. So I'm just like, I can't run. Okay. So I'm like, run. So I'm shuffling as they're running. Maggie can't run fast. She's only 50 pounds and the wind keeps trying to take her. So she gets to the car. I open the door. I unlatch the tether from my arm, put her in the car. Orion gets in his side of the car and we get in the car and I'm like, okay, we made it. I look at my phone. I'm like, now let's figure out where we're going. Maggie goes, where are we going? Now take it. The entire time, Orion hasn't asked one question. He don't give a crap where we going. I could be taking these kids to hell, and Orion would not care. He just cares that he got out of school a couple minutes early, okay? So I'm like, we're going somewhere. Don't worry about it. And she goes, but I am worried about it. Where are you taking us? Again, I love the inquisitiveness. Now is not the time, because I know if I tell her, she'll freak out. Now, when I've talked to my children about this and when they watched me do it, we already agreed that they were going to get it. They were both excited to get it because they didn't want to get sick. When Maggie found out that she had it, she was more upset that she actually had it than the fact that she spread it to somebody else. She didn't care if she gave it to me. What makes this so dangerous is if we hadn't have went to go get tested, if I would have let my mind keep telling me, no, it's not COVID. Because if y'all remember, when I had COVID, I told y'all, I don't have COVID. I have the flu. I get like this every year. I get sick every year around February, okay? If you check my channel, every year around February, my voice is raspy, my throat's stuffed up. The only reason why I got tested is because I lost my taste and my smell. Maggie had no symptoms. So if we hadn't gotten tested and I would have just stayed hard-headed, she would have been spreading it to everybody in her class. That's what makes this so dangerous, which is why I don't understand why they won't do contact tracing. Anyways, moving right along. So I'm like, okay, looks like this place is only 3 minutes from the school. Yes. So we're going to figure out how to get to this place. So I'm navigating and Orion asks questions, but not about what's going on, which again, Haircat Chronicles going on here. The hair pack is a 2-piece. If you already asked for the link for the hair pack or the bonnet, you know it's a 2-piece, okay? There's 2 of them. This is the second one. Anywho, I digress. So I'm following the directions, and Orion's asking his typical means absolutely nothing question. Mom, how many cars have you had in your life? How many TVs have you had? What's the biggest house you've lived in? What's the smallest house you've lived in? How many pairs of shoes have you owned in your life? Mommy, do you wear regular clothes? Like clothes, stuff like that. And so, like, no, and I don't. I really don't. I'm pretty sure my neighbors think I never shower because I wear sweat. I have about 15 pairs of black sweatpants and about 4 pairs of grays. I like sweatpants. I live in North Dakota. It's cold. Fight me for it. Anyways. So we get to the last step of the directions and it's like turn left. I accidentally, for some reason, get in the right-hand lane and Orion goes, Mom, it said left. Oop, my bad. So I get in the left-hand lane. He starts laughing. He goes, weren't you in JROTC? Look, listen. I was in JROTC in school. Of course I was, because I had planned on going into the military. Until my dad told me how many shots they got. And look, listen. No. Why it doesn't make any sense to me that they had to mandate the shot for the soldiers and they're giving them the option. Because back when I was a kid and my siblings, like, pretty much almost all of my siblings have been in the military, except for like a couple of them, okay? When my siblings and my parents were in the military, you got no choice. They didn't even tell you what was in the vaccine. And I dare you to ask them what it was that they were shooting you up with. You stood in line like a pack of turkeys, and they just treated you like a punch pin. They were just like, punch, 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 punch. Go outside and run some laps. Nowadays, it's, would you like a vaccine? No, don't give them the option. They're in the military. They're government property. My thoughts on it. If you have different thoughts on it, that's on you. Anyways, moving right along. So I'm sitting there, right? And I get into the place, and it's called Upper something something health. It's the health department. Daisy, stop licking the chair, you weirdo. So I'm sitting there, and Orion reads the sign. He looks at me. He goes, "Are you okay?" What? Why you just assume it's something for me? He goes, "Mom, you kind of been through a lot lately." I'm glad that you could see that Mommy's been through a lot from the TV screen, from between the TV screen and your gamer chair. I'm glad you could still see that Mommy's been through a lot. And he's like, "Well, yeah, I worry about you because I don't want you to get hit by another car or something." Sometimes your children just leave you speechless, and you just have to leave it at that. So I just left it at that. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "Yeah, F you, kid. No, this isn't for me. But we're going to have to wait for a few minutes." And they're like, "Okay." Orion says, "Okay." Maggie goes, "Why are we waiting? What's happening? What does that sign say?" Orion tells her what the sign says. She goes, "Why are we here? Mommy, are you okay?" "I'm okay, Maggie. I'm fine." She goes, "Are you sure? Did I hurt you again?" "I don't mean to hurt you, Mommy. It just happens." Chick, look, listen. I'm going to have to ask you to leave me alone, okay? Because you are the reason why I keep getting hurt. So, sorry, I'm trying to clean my glasses. So I'm sitting there, and I wait 20 minutes. No Mr. Coffee. And I'm like, mother chicken, I can't do this by myself. So I message him, and I'm like, ETA. He doesn't say anything. And I'm like, F this. I have 5 minutes before their appointment starts. I go into the office. I'm trying to open the door, but the doors aren't opening. It's one of those places where you have to call, "Have you come in close contact with some?" No. And I'm going to tell them no. Because one, God dang it. One, I haven't come in close contact with anybody with COVID. My kids have. Two, close contact or not, they're getting this vaccine. Okay? And seeing as how they just recently got tested. One, Maggie can't get tested again because, again, she's within the 90 days. So it will still come up positive possibly for her. So I can't, go get her tested. Orion, no signs or symptoms. None. Not even a headache, not a sniffle, not a nothing. If he got it, guess what? He about to be vaccinated on top of it. I don't even care. So I was like, no, we haven't come in close contact. Not that y'all care, because y'all really just don't care. And Lady's like, all right, have any of you had the blah, blah, blah? No. So we walk in, and it's this big wide open room with desk and chairs and benches. And I'm like, awesome. So I walk up to the desk and I go, "Hi, Magdalene and Orion have an appointment for 3:30. And she goes, "Okay." Now, the kids, whenever they're in places, I don't speak to them because adults are talking. I'm not talking to my children. My children are talked to by hand gestures and hand sounds. Snapping means knock it off, and you know better. And don't make me have to do the eyes with the snap. Look, listen, you might get your butt cut in public, okay? So I'm like, and I just kind of point to the chairs. They go and they sit down. Now, we've been doing this for numerous years, so they know the routine. Go sit down. Once Mommy's done talking to the adult, I will come sit and talk to you and answer your questions or whatever you got going on in your life. So I get the clipboard with all the information because, of course, you got to sign your life away just for anything. So you got to, that's Daisy. She got her ball. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I can't fill out all this paperwork. This is it's one sheet of paper, but it's front and back. So I'm like, all right. So I start filling the paper out. Maggie's sitting at the window and she's like, "Daddy!" Sorry, I have to throw a ball for Daisy. Let's throw a ball for that, or for Daisy. Daisy? Hold on. I'm knocking stuff over. Don't mess with that. Go get it. Alright. You got a little daisy time. You're going to keep hearing that squeaking noise. Okay. So right as I start signing paperwork, Maggie's like, Daddy, Daddy! Now, I don't know what it is about Maggie and Mr. Coffee. She has a weird relationship in her mind with her father. Not weird like we live in Alabama. No offense to you if you live in Alabama. It's just a reference, okay? But, of all times to play, she plays now. So, when Maggie's in the house, Maggie will mess with Mr. Coffee to the point where he's on the brink of insanity. When Maggie's not in the house, she loves her father to death. She don't want nothing to do with me. She wants her father. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right. You see Daddy. And she goes, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And Orion goes, why is Dad here? What's happening? I'm like, I love how much you trust your mother. That you didn't ask a single question the entire ride home or when I picked you up from school. You didn't ask a question until your dad showed up and you went, what happened? What's going on? And then he goes, well, are you okay? Like, you're not going to tell us that you're dying or something, right? I do this with all of my chins. Okay. No. If you must know, and I was like, come here, Maggie. You guys are going to get your vaccinations today. Orion's like, yes, I get the vaccine. He's so excited. Maggie's like, yeah. Hold up. When it dawned on her what it was, hold up. I opened the door for Mr. Coffee because why does he have to call? Of course he has him. I'm just opening the door for him. She goes, we're getting shots. This is the reason. She goes to run and Mr. Coffee grabs the rope because it's still attached to her hand and he goes, nope, come back. Now, Maggie is kind of like me when it comes to shots. You got something to say, sir? Killian, you good? All right, bet. He good. He's just gonna sit over there and chill out. So, Maggie's kind of like me when it comes to shots. She will freak out at first, but then once she gets it, she's fine. Me, I freak out once I get it, after I get it, all day that day, the next day a little bit, then I'm good. I can't help myself, okay? So I'm sitting there, and Mr. Coffee grabs hold of her, and he goes, hey, little pumpkin head, you ready to get your vaccination? She goes, Daddy, I'm scared. He goes, I'm right here. That's why Mommy called me. It don't matter how much love this child has for me. If she's getting shots, if she's getting a medical procedure done, which she does often because of her epilepsy, she wants her daddy. She don't want nothing to do with me. I have accepted this. I am okay with it, okay? Orion, he's a very independent little guy. Like, he has to get that streak from his father because he doesn't. I am very independent, but for his age, he has gotten a sense of independence where he can essentially handle his own when it comes to things. The problem is Orion also can't handle his emotions, so he doesn't know whether to laugh or cry at certain situations, so he gets really nervous and laughs. Anyways, so we're sitting there, and we're sitting there, and he's like, what do we got to do? And I'm like, we got to fill out this paper. So I'm like, you're going to fill out a paper for Maggie. I'm going to fill out a paper. No, I was like, I'm going to fill out for Maggie. You fill out for Orion. Because Maggie has all these health conditions. And then, well, she has a health condition. And he don't know a whole lot about it because I'm the one that takes the kids to the doctor. You know, stay-at-home mom person. So I'm sitting here. And I'm like, all right, let me fill out this paperwork. So I'm filling out the paperwork. And Mr. Coffee looks at me. He goes, what exactly all is Orion allergic to? Because it's asking for allergies. And I'm like, Orion's allergic to cats, dust, mold, pollen, pet dander, blah, 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 blah. I'm like listing off all these things. I'm like, do they have an option for life? Because that's what he's allergic to. So Orion's like, I'm not allergic to life, Mama. I'm like, I know, buddy, but you're allergic to just about all the fun things except for like seafood and chocolate. Which I didn't develop my seafood allergy until I was in my teens. So Yeah, there's that. Because we used to have fish all the time when I was growing up, and I would eat it. It wasn't until that day that my dad discovered that he didn't have allergies to seafood anymore that I discovered literally he ate seafood and I ate seafood. He had no issue after being like essentially in his entire life of not being able to eat seafood. He's finally able to eat seafood. I now all of a sudden can't eat seafood. Moving right along. It's okay, Pawpaw, if you're in chat. I do blame you. He knows I blame him for that. So I'm sitting here and we're filling out paperwork and I'm filling out the stuff for Maggie and I'm having to check off things and have you had COVID? Yes. When did you have COVID this time? Has it been a month since you've, yes. And so we fill out paperwork, we give back to the lady and she goes, okay, you guys can sit there and wait. Now that picture that I showed you for 4522, that picture I showed you, the reason I'm saying it is because if I say it out loud, I can remember to put a picture in. The picture I showed you is us at that moment. Once we turned in the paperwork and we were sitting there waiting. Now, I would like for you to show me a child that's excited to wait for a shot. It's okay, I'll wait. That's where the context of that picture came from. We were sitting in the waiting room and I went, it's been a while since I've taken a picture of the whole family. So I was like, I'm just going to take a snapshot real quick. So I told everybody, look, Maggie decided she was going to keep reading the pamphlet because she wanted something to do. She was bored. There was no kids section at this place. I don't even know what this building was, but it had a bunch of pamphlets on the walls and the kids decided that they were going to read them because they were bored. Now take it. Maggie can't read past the second or third grade level, so I don't know what the hell she thought she was doing. She was just looking at the pictures and she was asking questions. But then, like, after the first question, her question started getting a little weird. And she's like, Mommy, what happens if you lose a fallopian tube? What? She's like, do you have your fallopian tubes? No. Hold up. What? Why are you asking? And then I see the pamphlet. Is hysterectomy right for me? What the hell? What? And then I was like, Orion, look, come here. Am I ready to... Orion's pamphlet. Am I ready to have a baby right now? What the... Orion's like, according to this, I'm not ready to have a baby right now. You're 10, sir. You're 10. You're not having children right now. You can have children when you're married. Did you have children when you were married? Yep, you and Maggie both. And he goes, what about Minna? We're not going to talk about it. I'm married to your daddy. Don't worry about what Minna's situation is. We ain't gonna worry about Minna's situation. We're worried about your situation. You, sir, I was married to your daddy for a whole year before you even a thought. He's like, okay. So, you see. Hi, Kellyanne. He's getting all cuddly. He's tired. So I'm sitting there, and they finally call us back, and the nurse lady comes out, and she goes, hi, I'm such and such. I will be your nurse for today. And I'm like, hello, this is Maggie. And of course, when she called the kids' name, Magdalene and Orion. And Maggie goes, my name is Magdalene. And Orion jumps up, my name is Orion. And she goes, oh, I guess I'm talking about you guys then. Maggie's like, not if you said our name wrong. Maggie. She got her mama attitude, y'all. God love her. It's going to be a rough teenage years, I'm telling you. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, let's go, guys. So we go to the back and I pull out my phone. Now, I don't tell people I'm a social media figure, but when I do things, I tend to take out my phone more as normal than, say, a typical person does, which should be your number one sign if somebody is a social media person or not, meaning if they have a platform of some sort. If you go do random things that typical normal people go do, you know, get it done and move on, and the person pulls out their phone to take pictures or a video, more likely there's some type of personality on social media or in, like, you know, movies or some crap or something. It's just something we do to keep our followers, you know, in tune to what we're doing. Hey, this is what we're doing right now. Now, when I posted that first picture of the family, I didn't give it any context. I just said it's about to go down because I didn't tell the kids, and Orion is on my Instagram. So I was like, I'm not going to show them. I'm just going to show the picture because then they won't know what I'm doing if I don't post, you know, we're getting the kids vaccinated. Shortly after that, I then posted the pictures of the kids getting their shots. My kids are going to be an example. Like, I want them to be an example for other kids to show them that it's not that bad. Now, take it. Orion sat there like a straight up gangster. He sat there. He's like, I'm going to go first. Then they start fighting back and forth. I want to go first. I want to go first. I want to go first. And the lady's like, who am I giving a shot to? And I had my phone out and she goes, I don't care if you take videos or pictures. Just please don't get my face. I'm like, no, ma'am, I don't know you. And I'm not about to put you in my social media. So no, ma'am, I'm not going to put your face up on the internet. Which, you know, I'm okay with people telling me that, because if they don't want to be seen, obviously I need to put something over their face, which usually I do. If I'm out in public, I'll put something over their face, or I make sure that they're out of focus so you can't see their face. Because y'all here for the kids. Y'all ain't here for everybody in the neighborhood, okay? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, bet. I take my phone out and I go, stop fighting. And they both stop. And I'm like, y'all know how we settle things in this household. Let's go. Rock, paper, scissors, baby. Anytime my children have a disagreement about something, whether it's going out to eat, where to go have fun, life in general, we rock, paper, scissors it out. I want them to be able to rock, paper, scissors it out, okay? So they're sitting there, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. For the first 3 times, and they do this all the time. They had the same, Maggie and Orion are about 18 months apart, I want to say. And so they think alike, like twins. When they were little, they literally even had their own language, okay? So as they're getting older, they're becoming more separated. Like, they don't do as many things together, but they still think alike. So for the first 3 times, they had the same thing. First time they had paper, then they had rock, then they had scissors. And I'm like, all right, tiebreaker, last one. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Maggie pulled paper, Orion pulled rock, and he goes, rock over paper, let's go. And I'm like, I don't think that's how, before I could say anything, he sits down in the chair, he pulls his sleeve up, he goes, let's go, Doc. Lady goes, I guess he's ready. I guess so. She alcohols up his arm, she goes, you ready? He goes, yep. She stabs him, jabs him, takes it out, puts the Band-Aid on, she goes, you're all done. He goes, Mom, what were you freaking out for? That didn't even hurt. Why you always got to bring my name into this? I'm over here minding my own goddamn business. And you always got to say something, Orion. Like, go sit your old crusty tail down somewhere. Then it came to Maggie. Maggie doesn't like shots. Not very many kids do. So when it came time for it to be Maggie's turn, she goes, Daddy, will you hold me? He goes, oh, of course, honey. So he picks her up, and he's sitting on one of those, like, you know, when you go to the doctor's office, they have that bed. He's sitting on that. So he picks her up and puts her on his lap. And she goes, now, will you really hold me? And he goes, yeah, honey. So he grabs hold of her chest and tightens her down, turns her head, lifts up her sleeve. The moment you lift up her sleeve is when you have to watch, because then things are about to get violent. And Lady goes to go start rubbing her arm. I'm like, give it a second. As soon as he lifts her arm up, she's freaking out, okay? She's freaking out. And I was like, give her a few seconds. I'm like, could you please secure the child? He goes, bet. So he grabs her arm, puts it down, like he holds it with his one hand, holds it down so she's essentially hugging herself. Because Maggie, like, you can take Maggie's hands and go like this, and she got both her wrists in the same time. So he grabs hold of her, holds her down, pulls her sleeve back up, takes her head and turns it sideways, and he puts a blinder on her so she can't see the needle, okay? That's the reason why in that picture of Maggie and Mr. Coffee, you see him like this. He's not forcing her. That's how you have to do it so she doesn't watch. Now, she got her stab, takes it out. When she took it out, Mr. Coffee took the blinder off so she could see the lady was done. She looks down. For some reason, Maggie was bleeding like a stuffed pig, okay? She's like, oh, blood! And I'm like, yeah. So the lady goes, oh, honey, I'm sorry. She goes, I like blood. And the lady goes, look, listen, if you ever encounter Maggie, you should be scared, okay? That statement, I like blood, the way she said it, I was scared at that moment to be her mother, okay? The lady goes, well, let me clean it up for you. She goes, oh, you can't leave it? That's kind of cool. No, Maggie, she can't leave it. So she wipes it up, puts the Band-Aid on. Maggie goes, oh, we're done? That didn't even hurt. Mommy, you're a wimp. That didn't even hurt. Heifer. Why y'all always gotta be telling my business to everybody? And Lady goes, did you not do so well for yours? I'm like, I hate shots. And she goes, well, I see why you called him then. He goes, yeah, I'm back up. Now, remember I told you to keep in mind that I just had surgery. I can't physically hold Maggie when she freaks out like that. Not right now, because I literally just had surgery. And to have her flailing around and having to hold on to her tight and stuff like that, I can't do it, which is why I had to call Mr. Coffee to come help us. So after the kids got their shots, the lady looks at the chart and she goes, so what reaction, I meant to ask you this. She goes, what reaction does your son have to cats? And I'm like, oh, well, he just gets hives on his chest and his arms and like up his face and stuff. And she's like, oh, anaphylaxis. I'm like, no, it's not anaphylactic. Because as far as I know, which if I'm saying a word incorrectly, I apologize. You know what I'm talking about. As far as I know, anaphylactic shock is when your throat swelled up, you can't breathe, and you need an EpiPen. Did not realize that hives was a form of anaphylaxis. Anaphylaxis. However you say it. Did not realize it was a form of the anaphylactic. So I'm like, really? That's interesting. I never knew that. Learned something new that day. So she goes, yeah, because of this, I'm going to need you guys to sit in the waiting room for a bit for me so that we can make sure that he's okay. We have medical professionals on site, so if something happens, we can get to him very quickly, but we need him to stay here for at least 30 minutes. All right, bet. Kids are like, 30 minutes? Aww. Again, because there's no electronics. They don't have their electronics, and they're bored. So we go back out in the waiting room. We say goodbye to Mr. Coffee because that's all I needed him for. I didn't need him to sit with us because he needed to get back to work. So he said goodbye to the kids, told them that he was proud of them. They got high fives and knuckle punches, and he went on his merry way. Bye, honey. Love you. Bye. I'm a boo thing. Yeah. So then we wait, and we're sitting there, and Maggie's like, you know what sucks? We didn't get a cool Band-Aid like you got, Mommy. I'm like, I know, it's just a regular. She's like, it matches my skin. And Orion's like, yeah, but we look cool now. Look at my muscle. And he's like doing this, and he's like, Mama, take pictures of my muscle. And I'm like, okay. He goes, well, come on, Maggie, show your muscle. And Maggie's like, I'm just tired. Now, every day when Maggie gets home from school, Maggie takes a 20-minute nap. Why? Because it's her way of having her brain shut down to reboot to get ready for home life instead of school life. It's just how she unwinds. She falls asleep for 20 minutes, she wakes up, good as rain. So he's like, come on, Maggie, real quick. Show me your muscle. Muscle. He's in the muscle. Meanwhile, there's other children waiting because they already got their vaccination. And there's a girl in there that she looks like she's like 13 or 14. And she's like, we can turn around right now, Dad. We don't have to be in here. And he's like, nah, you're getting it. So I was like, oh, snap. And Orion's like, muscle, look at my muscle. I'm stronger now because I got the vaccine. Yeah. He's like, come on, Maggie. And Maggie gets up and she's like, Mama, take a picture of our muscles. That's where that picture came from. Because Orion was showing off his muscle. So I was like, whatever. Okay, cool. Now, my kids are used to having their picture taken. Even before I became big on social media or whatever size, medium. I'm a smedium on social media. Okay, I'm a smedium. I'm a small and a medium. I'm a smedium. Before I became smedium on social media, my kids always had pictures taken because I was a professional photographer for a very long time. And up until I think the kids, like the littler ones, up until the little ones were about 5 or 6, I was taking photography. I was doing photography. So they're used to having their picture taken. So anytime they do anything, take a picture, Mama. Take a picture, Mama. Take a picture, Mama. Mama. Always taking pictures. So I was like, all right, bet. So we sit down and we're waiting. And Maggie goes, can we read some more of those pamphlets? I guess, but we really shouldn't. Okay. Maggie goes and finds a pamphlet to read. Orion's like, I'm bored. Can I watch something on your phone? No, my phone has 30%. I'm not letting you watch anything on my phone. He goes, oh, dang it. Plus, the last time I let Orion watch something on my phone was when he was, why was he? He was home for quarantine? Yeah, quarantine. No. Why was he home? I don't remember. Orion, it was just me and Orion home. I think it was for his quarantine because Maggie had went back to school. Mr. Coffee had went back to work, but Orion had to wait 10 days after we were cleared to do his quarantine. So he was home with me and he started watching Markiplier, if you remember. And we were going through the drive-thru and whatever train video this was, Markiplier kept saying caulk. And not C-O-C-K, but C-A-U-L-K, like caulking gun. But he wasn't saying caulk. He was saying cock, like cock. So we're in the drive-thru and all you can hear is caulk, good caulk, caulk. And we get to the drive-thru window and it's like caulk. And I'm like, turn it off. So, yeah, so I'm wary about where I am watching stuff in public, because after that, I'm traumatized. So now I don't want you to watch anything in public because I'm scared of what's going to say in the middle of, you know, where we live. And of course, there are parents out there that have strict guidelines on what their children can and can't watch. I can't. I let my kids watch pretty much whatever they want to watch, and then they come and ask me questions about it later. Now, will I let them watch something like Squid Games? Hell to the no. I ain't never seen it. I ain't about to watch it, but I hear it's not exactly something like whatever. Like Maggie will watch, like Maggie's obsession right now is Child's Play. I don't know what's wrong with her, y'all. I don't know. She at first she was liking Goosebumps until she realized that nobody ever really dies in Goosebumps. She likes blood and gore. I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, I digress. Sorry, that was my neighbor. I'm just like, what the hell? I don't usually hear them, so it's weird. So we're sitting there, and Maggie goes, hold on, we didn't get no candy. And she sees a basket sitting on the counter. And she goes, oh, look, a basket of candy. Can we get a piece of candy, Mom? And I'm like, sure, I guess. So she goes up to the counter. She grabs one. She goes, like, you know, put it in her mouth, and she looks at it. She goes, what kind of weird candy is this? Take it. We're in the health department. Think about it. What kind of weird candy did Maggie get? Can you guess? I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to guess. See if you can guess it right in the comment section. Nice to see you again. Good seeing you. Hey, what's up? Okay, so if you did not get it right, or if you did, Orion then goes up to the basket, grabs one, and goes, what kind of weird candy is this? Mom, yes. What is this? I look over at it. Now take it. The lady at the desk is watching them mess with this basket full of candy. Says nothing. Okay? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what the hell? Put that back. Put it back. Put it back. Put it back. Use a hand sanitizer. Put it back. So they put it back. And they step away from it. They get the hand sanitizer. They use it. They're like, what was that? I'm like, those are condoms. Now take it. They were different colors and colorful wrappers. So I'm like, those are condoms. And Orion's like, condoms? What's that? I'm like, it's what you put on your penis when you have sex, when you don't want to have children. He goes, oh, that's what that thing was in that book. It's not a book, it's a pamphlet, but he called it a book because it had pages. So I'm like, yeah. And he goes, Maggie, you just almost ate a condom. And she goes, that sounds gross. What is a condom? So then I'm trying to have a hush conversation with them about this. And Orion's like, oh, I don't want to hear anymore. I don't want to hear anymore. Maggie's like, what? That's gross. Continue thinking that's gross for the rest of your life, okay? So then we wait for the 30 minutes. 30 minutes was up, and the lady goes, you guys are free to go. And I was like, thank you so much. So we then went and got the kids pizza and ice cream so that they could celebrate the fact that they got their vaccination. They were so excited. They went to school the next day and told everybody and their mama that they got the vaccination. They were all excited about it. So that was the story behind those pictures that were put up on Instagram when I said it was about to go down, and then the kids got vaccinated. Yep. My life is boring. Yep. Now let's talk about life lessons. I'm about to turn into Forrest Gump right now. Papa always said, a day where you don't learn nothing is a day you've wasted. Remember that. Now, the other day I woke up on Wednesday. I felt great. No pain. I didn't have that sinking heavy feeling in my stomach from, which I'm going to guess is something from surgery, because I had the same feeling when I had my gallbladder surgery. It feels like there's something heavy sitting at the bottom of my stomach, and when I move around, it feels like it's moving up and down. Like something's just weighing on my tailbone and my hip. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what the heavy feeling is. The doctor says it just could be like deferred pain or something, but there's nothing showing, you know, hey, you're in pain or something's messed up. So it was just part of the surgery process, which again, I'm having it again where I'm having that heavy feeling. I didn't have that feeling that day. I felt great. Now, as you guys know, I just had my gallbladder out. When you have your gallbladder out, you're supposed to have like foods and stuff that make you have to go to the bathroom and like you eat something and immediately you're just like, I gotta poop. No, Miss Coffee, I don't normally, okay, this is the part of chat that if you have children, it's up to you. I'm going to be talking about poop. I'm going to put it out there. I'm open and honest with you guys about my life and things that happen. We're going to be talking about poop. So if you don't care about your children hearing about poop, fine. So I'm sitting here and I decide that it was Tuesday night. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I feel great. I spent all morning Tuesday recording videos for next week. I'm like, I feel freaking fantastic. I recorded 4 videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm done. My body's telling me that I'm done. I was a little tired. So I was like, that's my body telling me that I need to go sit down and relax and wait for the kids to get out of school. I'm done. I don't need to do anything else. And then I remembered, excuse me, I had a young lady ask me in a comment, Miss Coffee, can you show us how to do seamless tumblers? And I'm like, yeah, I can show you that. But then I forgot to post the video. Shiza. So I was like, okay. And that was one of the videos I didn't record. So I was like, oh crap, I forgot that video. So I'm like, well, let me go ahead and record this video real quick so that all my videos for at least the next 2 weeks can be done. Okay? Because I've only been posting like what, 1 or 2 videos and then you get your diamond art, which I can't start. I don't know about anybody else, but I can't start my weekend without my Diamond Art Club sneak peek. If I don't have a sneak peek from Diamond Art Club, the rest of my weekend feels off. Okay? So I start my week like a bowl of Cheerios. I start my week with my Diamond Art Club sneak peek that tells me what day it is, that tells me the things I need to do, and that the weekend is coming. It's just a thing that it's been like a rotisserie chicken in my head, okay? So I go, sorry, I thought my shirt got caught on one of my wounds. I finally got to take my bandages off. Luckily, there's only one biggish scar. The rest of them are like teeny tiny and they'll probably be going away because you can barely see them now. And I was sutured from the inside, so you can't see the stitches or anything, which is great. So, which I don't know why they didn't use the glue this time. I don't know. I guess some doctors are different. So I'm sitting there at my desk. Now I'm at my drafting table. Okay. And now this is the part where I told you, remember earlier on, remember there's a reason I can't sit at my draft table. So I'm sitting at my draft table and I'm sitting straight up. And my draft table, my back is straight up because I like when I sit up, like when I sit up in my car or at my drafting table, I like my back to be straight. It's good posture. We did posturing in modeling school. So, you know, hold the book or the glass of water on your head and keep it still and don't move it and then try to walk or try to sit down and stand up or whatever, you know, etiquette. So I always have a thing about my back being straight, unless I'm like, you know, laying on the couch or if I'm reclining back in my gamer chair or something. But for the most part, I like my back to be straight. But then on my desk, so here's my drafting table, and then off to the side here is an L-shaped desk. I have L-shaped desk on both sides of me in my craft room. On this desk, to my right, is my laptop. And I'm like, oh, sweet. I can go ahead and print off the image that I'm going to do the seamless tumbler for, and I'll, you know, do that. So I recorded the 2 parts that I needed to record. I go to print out my paper. My printer's acting up. It doesn't want to print. Of course not. Why would it? I had just finished recording the clip for Patreon. Small plug. I do have a Patreon. Feel free to join at any time. The link is down in the description box of this video. Even if you join, I usually suggest not joining at the end of the month, mostly because they'll double charge you. So if you join on like the 29th and the month only has 30 days, it'll charge you on the 29th and then charge you again on the 1st. So that's up to you. But you can go back and watch previous content no matter what tier you're on. So if you're on the $5 tier, it's a tip jar. If you're on the $10 tier, you get your name at the end of the credits. If you're on the $15 tier, you get a Patreon vlog every week, which showcases what I do behind the scenes when I'm not making videos. It's just me chattering about life and stuff that pisses me off in the community. And then on the $20 tier, once a month at the end of the month on Wednesday, the last Wednesday of the month, I go live and you get to chit chat with me while I work on some kind of random project. So I'm sitting there minding my own crafty business. I lean over, go to print out my paper. It's not printing and I can't figure out why. So I stay leaned over and I stay leaned over. I stayed leaned over for about 10 minutes max. And then I went backwards and was trying to figure out my printer. Then I turned around and on my left is my printer. So I turn around and I'm scrunched over again. My stomach starts hurting and I didn't know why. And I'm like, I'm getting a pain in my stomach. Did that stop my dumb ass from not leaning over? No, because I was being greedy. I was productive that day and I was being greedy. I had said that I was going to stop making videos and I didn't because I felt good and I wanted to keep the momentum up while I had it. Because as you know, with these surgeries, Miss Coffee's got narcolepsy. Because 1 minute I can be sitting here chit-chatting with you, having a good old time, minding my own P's and Q's, and the next minute I'm just... So while I had the momentum, I decided I was going to keep recording, okay? I was like, this is one last video, and then I don't have to record for 2 weeks. I get 2 weeks of doing nothing but relaxing, which of course is just me resting, getting my energy back to start making videos and going back onto YouTube again. Don't be greedy, folks. Never goes good for you. So I'm sitting there, my belly's starting to bother me, and I can't figure out why, okay? By the time I finished, I had my stomach was bloated, and I didn't know what happened, but I thought I messed up something. Because my stomach was bloated, it was hurting, like it was excruciating pain. Like I almost took a pain med, it was so bad. But I needed to go pick up the kids. Didn't know what was going on. I'm like, I feel like I have to poop, but I'm not pooping. And I don't know what's going on. My stomach hurts really bad. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to go pick up the kids and then I'll call my dad. Because anytime I have a problem medical, I call my dad. If you guys don't know, my dad is one of these guys that, you know, your parents tell you can be anything. Well, apparently my grandma must have told my daddy, you can be anything in the medical field. My dad was like, look, I'm going to be all the things. So dad's worked in every aspect of the medical field that you can think of. Okay. So anytime I have a medical problem, immediately I call my dad first. So I go pick up the kids. I come home. My stomach hurts really bad. I'm getting these really sharp pains. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting here and I'm thriving in pain. I call my dad. I'm like, Dad, what's going on? My stomach hurts. I was scooched over for a little bit, blah, blah, blah. And my dad's like, uh-oh. I'm like, uh-oh, what? What? What's the uh-oh? He goes, are you taking iron pills? No. I'm supposed to take iron pills because I'm anemic. I don't take iron pills. In the hospital, they gave me an infusion of iron because I had lost a liter of blood, which is not good for someone who is anemic. So instead of giving me a blood transfusion, they decided to give me an iron diffusion. So when I was in the hospital, they told me, we're going to give you stool softener because more than likely you're going to get backed up with the amount of iron we had to give you. I forgot about that. Now on the bottle, it said as needed. And if you remember in my whipping chat or wherever it was, I gave you a little TMI that I was like, I took the best dump ever on Sunday. This was Tuesday. Apparently without your gallbladder, you can still have constipation. Apparently without your gallbladder, you can still get backed up. And essentially what I did, now I don't have a gallbladder anymore and my uterus is gone. So I don't have all my internal organs. So when I leaned over, essentially all I did was smush my intestines and everything in them and compacted everything. If you've never been compacted with poop, let me just tell you, it's excruciating. It was a very shitty situation, pun intended. Luckily, though, here in North Dakota, I've never experienced this anywhere else I've lived. Here in North Dakota, when you have surgery, a couple of days after your surgery, like 4 or 5 days after your surgery, your doctor will call you to ask you, do you have any questions? Are you having any issues? Blah, blah, blah. My doctor just happened to call that day when I was on the phone with my dad. So I told my dad, hold on. Let me talk to the nurse or this doctor real quick because I need to ask her what to do. Because I thought I messed up something in my stomach. And the doctor called and she goes, how are you feeling? I'm like, honestly, I feel wonderful. I've had no pain from the surgery sites. They're not bleeding anymore. She goes, I still want you to keep she wanted me to keep the bandages on a little bit longer just to make sure that I wasn't going to have any issues. And I'm like, all right, no problem. I'm like, but right now I'm having an issue. I was sitting scrunched over in my chair, working on my laptop and my printer, and now my stomach is in excruciating pain. Did I mess up something? And she goes, have you been taking the stool softeners? I'm like, why does everybody keep asking me about these damn stool softeners? I'm like, no ma'am, I haven't. Oh. Oh? Oh. Oh. Just like that. Oh. What do you mean, oh? She goes, when's the last time you had a bowel movement? I'm like, yesterday I had a little one. And she goes, mm, 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 mm. She goes, I'm going to need you to take some stool softener. I'm like, okay. She goes, from the sounds of it, all you did was like an accordion. You smushed your intestines. She goes, after you have surgery, if you didn't know, being under anesthesia can constipate you. And she goes, seeing as how you already had a problem with iron, and she goes, even though you might not have been constipated in the past, it was still hard for you to have a bowel movement. She goes, more than likely, if you weren't constipated, you are now. And I'm like, I don't feel constipated. She goes, those sharp pains is your body trying to push that foreign object out, and it's not moving. Oh. She goes, take 2 of the stool softeners. I was like, actually, I did. I took 2 stool softeners right before I went to go pick up my kids, so about 2 o'clock. And she goes, okay, don't take too many of those. Why? They're stool softener. What are they going to do? Make my poop pillow soft where I take a dump and it floats me off into space? Like, they're stool softeners. And she goes, I wouldn't take more than 2 of those at a time. Oh, okay, because I took 2 earlier, so should I take 1 later? And she goes, yeah, take 1 tonight, but then play around with it, because you don't want to take too many and give yourself diarrhea. I'm like, okay. So I get off the phone with her. She goes, but other than that, sounds like you're doing fine. We'll see you in the office next week. Thank you so much for letting us, take care of you. And I'm like, I appreciate you guys taking care of me, and you guys did a great job, so thank you. So I hang up the phone with her, and I'm back on the phone with my dad, and I tell my dad what the doctor said. My dad's like, see, I told you, you got to poop. I'm like, I don't feel like I have to poop. It feels like my stomach's about to explode. And he goes, yeah, because now that your intestines and everything is contracted or compacted, it has to essentially blow itself back out. What do you think that pain is? I've never dealt with this before. I lean over in that chair like that all the time. Never had that pain. He's like, you also didn't just always have surgery. At least not until lately. Shut up. Why you gotta say stuff like that? Why you gotta be a negative Nancy? So I'm sitting there, and I had taken 2 of the stool softeners, okay? And I remember what she said, take 1 more in the evening, play around with the dosage, but don't take more than 4 a day. Okay, and I'm thinking, I'm picturing myself on a cloud of poop floating off into my bathroom, because I'm like, it's stool softener. What could it do? Y'all, I took 1 more pill that evening. The next morning, I woke up and I was still thriving in pain. Mr. Coffee was like, don't even get out of bed. Stay in bed. I will take care of getting the kids off to school and walking the dogs. All right. I was like, all right, thank you so much. I can't. My stomach hurts so bad. And he goes, I wish there was something I could do for you, hon. He goes and gets me a hot water bottle, because that's usually what we do, is I do the hot water bottle, and he gives it to me, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, rolling back and forth. I'm not crying, but it's enough pain that I'm like, okay, this really hurts. So he leaves with the kids, and immediately I hear my stomach go, bleh. And then it feels like I have to fart, and I'm like, in my brain, never trust a fart when your stomach hurts. I've heard one too many horror stories from people I know about not trusting farts when your stomach hurts. Let me just tell you right now, I'm glad I did not trust it, because I got up and went to the bathroom, and look, listen, I'm not a religious person. I have no religious denomination. But I was praying to Jesus that day, because look, listen, good God, I'm holding on to the tub and the sink, and my feet are planted on the floor, and the dogs are whining, because I'm like sitting in there like, oh my God. Y'all, look, listen, y'all would have thought I was giving birth in that bathroom. I was doing that for 30 minutes. It didn't even feel like 30 minutes. It felt like more like an eternity, because, oh my God, did it hurt. I finally get up. And I'm like, oh my God. It was one of those bad ones. I immediately just jumped in the shower. I didn't even care. I just, get dressed. I go downstairs. It's like 9:30, because they usually leave around like 7:30-ish. And I rolled around in bed for a while. And I was like, it's 9:30. I need to get the ferrets out. I go to get the ferrets out. I bend over. Oh, God. So I heard open the ferret cage, put the ladder out, make sure the dog crates and everything were down before I let the ferrets out. And then I run back into the bathroom downstairs. Y'all, I'm holding on to the sink ahead of me. My feet are up. And I don't know if you've ever heard of this product. If you have, kudos to you. If you haven't, look into it, especially if you're someone that has problems with anemia or constipation or whatever. This is like real talk, okay? It's called a squatty potty. It's a stool, because if you actually look at it, humans aren't made to sit straight up with their legs planted on the ground to poop. Your legs actually are supposed to be elevated, because that way it just is a straight line down. When you sit, it kind of curves your butthole a little bit. So they invented this thing called a squatty potty, which goes around your toilet. It's a step stool. And you put your feet up on it, and it elevates your feet to a point, not where you're like, it's kind of like the birthing position where your knees are up, and it makes it a straight line. So everything just comes out gradually, and you don't have to do a lot of the work because your body's gravity will do the work for you. And so we don't have one. We've talked about getting one, and I was like, that sounds stupid. Like, why the hell would who's doing this? I made a makeshift one, okay? I got a box that was empty and put my feet on the sides of it. By the time I was done, I had crushed the box. I had almost broken the counter because I'm clawing at the counter, holding on to it because, good God, get this demon out of me. What is going on in my insides? My insides were angry, okay? They were furious, seething with rage. After another 45 minutes, I get up and I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, I had to fix my bonnet. My bonnet was all sideways. One of my nails came off. One of my Zox bracelets was in the sink. I had one slipper on, one slipper off. I'm sweating to death. And I'm sitting there. This can't last much longer. I did that all day Wednesday up until noon. I was totally in the bathroom for about 4 hours all that morning. Just in and out, in and out, in and out. And I'm sitting there thinking, what did I do? What did I eat? Every morning I have a bowl of oatmeal because oatmeal is my favorite thing. Especially maple sugar or maple cinnamon oatmeal is my favorite thing, okay? Well, I didn't eat oatmeal that day that my belly started hurting. I also eat 2 little containers of applesauce because applesauce, apple juice, V8 Splash, orange juice are my go-tos. That morning, I placed an order for Walmart delivery to get some chocolate milk because Rachel brought up a great idea. She goes, try the chocolate milk since you don't have a gallbladder now. See if you can drink it. I haven't touched it. The kids have been drinking it. So I also bought some like brown rice and stuff because you're supposed to eat more stuff with fiber in it. So I'm like, okay. And then the nurse, I remember the nurse's explanation of the anesthesia gets you constipated. On top of that, you already had problems with anemia, so we had to give you all that iron. All that iron could finally be settling in your body and causing it to be hard for you to go to the bathroom, so take the stool softener. That morning, I had taken 2 more stool softeners, okay? So in total, I had taken 5 stool softeners within 12 hours. Don't ever do that. Learn from Miss Coffee. Don't ever do it. I've never prayed to Jesus more than I did that morning, okay? Mr. Coffee messaged me to check on me. He was like, how are you feeling? I'm like, my asshole is on fire. I said it just like that. I don't even care. It was bad. It was bad. And he's like, are you going to be okay? Like, do we need to take you out? I'm like, dude, I don't know. It was so bad. And the nurse told me, make sure when you take the stool softener to hydrate yourself because you're more likely just going to poop a little bit. A little bit. I felt like I gave birth to all 3 of my kids again. What the hell? It was so bad. I pulled out my Scentsy water bottle that I got. Now, in October, Scentsy was running a promotion where you got like a free gift when you hosted a party. Well, I hosted a party. Thanks to everyone who helped me with the party. When you made over a certain amount, you got a free gift. I got a blanket and this really cool water bottle, which it has this cool string on it, and on the back of it, it tells you how much water that you need to drink. Now, I've already drank this much water for the day, okay? Like, I fill it up in the morning, and then I drink it down to this, and then I drink another one in the evening. Just so I'm not just drinking coffee, because the other thing she said, you could also drink coffee to help move your bowels as well. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I guess coffee is kind of a laxative in that aspect. So, Mr. Coffee messages me, and I'm like, I'm not doing well. I need Jesus. I need something. I'm like to the point where I'm about to go back old school and start biting on sticks, because it was so bad. It finally stopped about 1:30, and I told Mr. Coffee, don't worry about picking up the kids. Don't worry about the dogs. I'm going to take care of it. You stay at work. And he goes, are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I was fine for the rest of the day. I had some problems sitting down because, of course, my butt was sore from all the projectile poop, but I learned my lesson. Don't be greedy. When your body tells you to rest, rest. When you're recovering from surgery, if nothing else, rest. The only other symptoms I'm having right now are fatigue. Not like I'm tired. Like, I am tired right now. But it's more so, I get winded doing things. So walking up the stairs, I get winded. Walking from here, like front room to the back room, I get winded. But other than that, I've gotten out of the stage where I'm constantly falling asleep. Now, I could fall asleep, but I'm not that tired. So then I tend to not fall asleep now. Like, that only lasted a couple of days. I should be taking naps, because your body heals, better when you take naps. So I'm probably going to take a nap after I record this video. But for the most part, I feel like myself today. I got a shower. I put lotion on, y'all. Lotion. I no longer look like a piece of beef jerky. Also, I love that antibacterial soap. So if you've never tried antibacterial soap, I would highly recommend Dove. Dove makes a really nice antibacterial soap, and it is moisturizing as well. So the ashiness wasn't that bad. Now, Mr. Coffee he noticed it, and he was like, what's wrong with your leg? What's on your leg? And I'm like, at that point, I couldn't take a shower. So I was like, I can't get a shower yet. So that's ash. I'm ashy because I didn't lotion. He's like, what? He goes, I don't get that. There's a huge culture gap there. Okay. A huge gap. They're growing up white and then growing up black are two different things. And when you mix those two together in one household, you learn a lot about each other. One last thing before I let you guys go. One other thing I learned about my husband was, I'm going to hum a song, and tell me in the comments if you know what song this is. If you're my age, even if you're a little bit older, maybe you'll know the tone. Just listen to the tone of the song. I'm not a singer, okay? But I'm going to hum it. Dun, 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 dun. I can't even hum it right. Do 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 do. It's from the soap operas, okay? It's from soap operas. 10 cool points if you can name the soap opera from the bad humming. I played it last night because it was on TikTok, and some guy was reenacting how you felt when that song came on. Y'all, look, listen, my mom watched that soap opera so much, I thought Victor Newman was her second husband, okay? I thought she was just trying to keep tabs on this dude because she watched it so much. If you did not grow up watching soap operas with your parents, Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, look, listen, we are not the same, okay? The struggles are not the same. I played the song, and Mr. Coffee was like, what is that? Hold on, what? There are children that grew up without listening to that? Yo, there's a huge difference between me and Mr. Coffee, and I found out yesterday that was one of them. I was like, I need to talk to your mama, because you mean to tell me your mama didn't watch soap operas? Mr. Coffee's mom was like a debutante or something. So, like, she had more important things to do. And I'm just like, what? that is all I have for you today. I do really appreciate you guys being very understanding of the fact that I'm recovering, so I can't go back to lives just yet. And right now I'm traumatized by my gamer chair, so I won't be sitting in it for a little while longer. Probably December, I'll probably be able to get back to diamond painting and getting back into my chair. I mean, I'm not about to go sit back there right now. Lord, no, Jesus. You ever have something bad happen to you and it makes you scared to ever interact with that particular thing ever again? That's where I'm at right now in my brain. Also, really small plug. These bracelets are called Zox bracelets because I keep getting asked this. And I'm like, I tell you guys what these are all the time. You guys know. These are Zox bracelets. You get them over at www.zox.la. If you use the code Miss Coffee, MRSCOFFEE. If you use the code Miss Coffee on your first purchase, you save yourself 15% off. You're welcome. It's down in the description box. Don't worry. So, they're Zox bracelets. I wear them. I try to wear them every video. I don't think I wore them for a couple of videos because I was in the hospital or sick or whatever. So, yeah, that's what those are. Bonnet, again, if you want it, let me know. I'll send you a link. You can get bonnets, or I'll remember to put it in the description box this time. Also, I would like to thank the 17 people that took the challenge for the creator tag. Now, if you don't know, the reason that creator tag was created wasn't necessarily to make it a challenge. It was just nice to do so. But it's because it's literally questions that me and Rachel get asked on the daily. And I figure if you go ahead and answer those questions now, when somebody asks you those questions, you can go, oh, I made a video about that. You can go check out the video. Like showing your craft room. What does your craft space look like? I get that question all the time. Do you like rounds versus squares? Get that question all the time. Do you like confetti or color blocking? Get that question all the time. Which diamond painting places are your favorite? Get that question. You're answering all those in one video so that you can refer your subscribers to that video whenever they have those questions. And of course, at any time, feel free to update that video. Now, it won't always get updated and then go into that playlist. But if you update that video every 2 years or so, boom, you have I just answered Q&A for all the favorite companies, favorite pens, favorite Etsy shops, favorite websites, favorite this, favorite that. You have all that in one spot. You're welcome. But with that said, folks, I gotta get out of here. Probably at this current point in time, Battlefield came out. And it's a video game that Mr. Coffee likes to play, and I love that game. I love watching my husband play this game. So I'm probably watching that while I'm watching you guys as well. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to go ahead and go pay attention to him play this or pass out like I did last week. Whichever one. It's weird to think that last week I was in the hospital watching this with you guys, and this week I get to sit on my couch and watch. Yay! So yeah, so for those wondering, Miss Coffee is doing better today. I've learned my lesson to take it easy. I'm going to listen to my body. I know, because I know some of y'all are probably over there fussing if you're not laughing your asses off at me. I feel free, as Kevin Hart would say, to laugh at my pain. Because if I could teach someone a lesson off my pain, I've done my job for the day. But with that said, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Next to follow is a little video of the ferrets doing something probably, and the dogs or something. I don't freaking know. I'll insert some tumbleweed pictures and stuff like that in like a video so that you guys have time to say goodbye. But me personally, I'm going to get off here right now because I need to go upload this and a couple of other things. So I appreciate you all for being here with me tonight. Thank you so, so much. I love each and every one of you that come back and see me every week. I really, really appreciate you all. If you haven't seen this week's sneak peek of Steampunk Bunny, you guys, it's so adorable. Please go check it out. I'll have it linked at the end card of this video, meaning when the video ends at the end, my videos pop up. I'll have it at the end card at the end of the video, so you guys can click right over to Steampunk Bunny and check it out, and then go check out the other sneak peeks that are coming out. Diamond Art Club is coming out with a lot of sneak peeks, and Black Friday is not going to be any different. So, yeah, I will see you guys next week, I think. I might actually take off Thanksgiving because we are going to have Mr. Coffee's mom in town. So, I might not have a live or a premiere next week. It just depends on if I'm able to sit down and record it. But with that said, folks, I must now bid you adieu. But not for reminding you, stay safe out here in these crafty streets, y'all. Please remember, stay safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Don't touch your face in public because that's gross. Keep your 6 feet and always try to be kind. Be courteous. Be cool. Bye, guys. To see more pet videos and stuff like that, just watch the end of the video. I'll be saying goodbye to you guys. So have a great weekend. Stay safe. I love you all. Thank you all for super chats. Thank you all, and happy birthday to anybody who might have had a birthday. I promise we'll have little Maggie Pie back on here soon singing happy birthday to you guys. But I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.